I'm going to be explaining my reasons why I think you should have a personal website. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Leon. I'm a data scientist based in the UK. So in my opinion, I think anybody that wants to take their career seriously should have at least their own personal website. Given how cheap and easy it is to make one nowadays and the benefits that one can provide, I don't think there's much of an excuse to not have one anymore. So here are the timestamps, and in this video, I'm going to go over my reasons why I think you should have a personal website. Let's get right into it. First, making a website is a lot easier than it used to be. You don't need to code anymore to be able to make a website. You have website builders and hosters like Squarespace, which you probably heard of already from people talking about it all the time on YouTube. And if you want to build a website for e-commerce, you have things like Shopify as well. In addition, these services will usually let you buy your own domain name, and they'll build and host your website for you with the exact name that you want, all under a single package. If you don't know what a domain name is, it's basically like a link to the main page of your website. For example, my website is leonlock.co.uk, so that would be my domain name. But if you want to, you can actually buy your own domain name from somewhere else, and it's usually a lot cheaper this way. You can then move this domain name into Shopify or Squarespace, for example, and then build your website from there. If you're up for more of a challenge, you can use a tool called WordPress. Now, before the developers try to kill me, WordPress is actually fantastic if you don't want to code, but you still want to build a website with a lot of flexibility. There's also plenty of WordPress hosts that are pretty cheap and easy to set up. So if you enjoy having the flexibility and you don't mind spending some time learning how to use WordPress, then I'd definitely go with this instead. Most websites on the internet actually use WordPress. I think it's something ridiculous, like 40% of all websites use WordPress. A lot of top websites use WordPress as well. So it's definitely not a bad choice, and it's a much easier one than making your own website from scratch with code. I personally built my website in WordPress, and I paid for a WordPress host. And then I bought my domain name on Amazon Web Services because it's usually a lot cheaper there. If you know how to use it, I think I pay about $9 per year for mine. The WordPress host that I use cost me about $24 per month, which is an expensive one, but you can easily find ones that cost you about $5 to $10 per month if you don't really care about performance that much. Now, when I mention stalking, I obviously don't mean crossing the boundary and invading people's privacy. What I really mean is if I want to find more information about someone, I'm just going to Google their name. Say I want to learn more about Gymshark CEO Ben Francis, I'm just going to Google Ben Francis. And if you're telling me you've never done something like that before, then I'm going to say you're a liar, unless you've literally never used the internet. But then you wouldn't be watching this video. A website gives you a central location where people can find out more about you. And to be honest, I'd much rather have a central space that I can control rather than have bits and pieces of information about me spread all over the internet. You can think of your website as a digital business card. When you put yourself out there through your work or through meeting other people, at least you can give them this link so that they can go there and learn more about you if they want to. You have to remember that your website is going to be online 24 hours, 7 days a week. So it's really useful in helping your overall visibility. People can go on your website to see your portfolio, your videos, your blog, and so on, which is much easier than having that all scattered across the internet. This increased visibility could open up opportunities for you that otherwise wouldn't have been possible. Yes, it might take a while for people to notice you, but let's say you wrote a blog and it starts gaining traction, then this could actually very well change your life. Obviously, getting these kinds of opportunities requires a lot of work still, but what I'm saying is if you don't have a website in the first place, then there could be a big opportunity cost. Having a website is a great starting point for creating your own brand. I think we all know that brands can do wonders for products, because let's be honest, some products can be pretty bad, but people will still be interested because of its brand and the way it's marketed. As someone who's more of a technical person, I was never into the whole marketing stuff, and it took me a while to realize that marketing is king. People want to know about you, your skills, your work, your experiences, and that's where the connections are made first. So following on from the previous part of the video, if you have a central place where people can learn more about you and you can control the things that they see, then you can start creating your own brand or image from there. You can build a more professional image, and if people are genuinely interested in you and your content, then you can use that as social proof as well. Even if you're not starting your own business, having your own website can be very useful in the long run. Let's say you have a blog and you use that to build an email list, then that creates an audience for you before you even start a business, which can be extremely valuable. Now, I'm not saying creating your own brand is easy, but if you don't have a website in this day and age, you're making it much harder for yourself. And lastly, you might not care about this one, but another cool thing about having your own website is that you can create your own email domain. I do think first impressions matter. So for example, my professional email is leon@leonlock.co.uk. And for my newsletter emails, it's newsletter@leonlock.co.uk. I just think it looks nicer than using, say, Gmail instead. Speaking of which, I actually write a newsletter every month where I keep everyone updated on what I'm doing, so if you're interested, you can sign up using the link in the description box down below. Now, you don't actually need your own website to be able to do this. You just need to buy your own domain name, which you can get for pretty cheap. I just think having a professional email looks nicer, and it's an easy way to differentiate yourself from others rather than just using Gmail or Outlook. So hopefully I've convinced you to make your own website. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to dive into this in a little bit more detail. Nowadays you can go for very easy options that let you set things up very quickly, or you can go for more technical options like WordPress that offer more flexibility. As an example, you can check out my website at leonlock.co.uk, where I have a data science blog and a newsletter that you can sign up to. I built all of that in WordPress with barely any code, and I'll put a link to those in the description box down below. But in the meanwhile, I have a bunch of data science videos that you might be interested in, which you can check out somewhere up here. You can also follow me on Instagram, and if you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.